Gremlins 2, the new batch, 1990, directed by Joe Dante, takes the wild, chaotic energy of its predecessor and cranks it up to 11, delivering a film that's even zanier, more absurd, and meta in its approach. While the first Gremlins had a balanced mix of horror, comedy, and a bit of Christmas charm, the sequel dives headfirst into full-on comedy, embracing the outrageous possibilities of its gremlin-filled world. It's less about the tension of survival, and more about the sheer fun of watching these creatures wreak havoc in ever more inventive and hilarious ways. The film opens with Gizmo, the lovable Mogwai, accidentally finding himself in another dangerous situation as he's brought into a high-tech building, the Clamp Center, which becomes ground zero for the gremlin chaos. This time, the gremlins are mutated by a new chemical process, leading to some hilariously bizarre results. The gremlins themselves are a true highlight of the film, as they're given more freedom to express their personalities, with each new gremlin bringing something uniquely funny or terrifying to the table. From the electric gremlin who becomes a walking, talking powerhouse to the spider gremlin that's both terrifying and absurd, the movie leans into a variety of outrageous concepts. Perhaps the most memorable gremlin of all is the talking gremlin, who becomes a symbol of the film's self-aware humor. This gremlin can talk, and his witty one-liners add a level of absurdity to the already chaotic situation. His dialogue is full of sarcasm and pop culture references, poking fun at the movie industry and itself, which was a clever and self-referential touch. The inclusion of a genius gremlin who becomes super intelligent after exposure to a laboratory serum is another hilarious twist, blending slapstick humor with a bizarre take on villainy. These moments exemplify how Gremlins 2 not only pushes the boundaries of creativity, but also embraces the campiness of its premise with a wink and a nod to the audience. One of the most entertaining parts of Gremlins 2 is seeing Gizmo, usually the innocent and lovable hero, finally stand up for himself. Throughout the first film, Gizmo is constantly mistreated and put in danger by his human counterparts. But in Gremlins 2, after a series of misadventures, Gizmo reaches his breaking point, becoming more proactive and taking charge in the battle against the gremlins. There's a particularly satisfying moment when Gizmo gets a heroic moment of vengeance, showing that even the smallest creature can have enough of being pushed around. The story of Gremlins 2 is, as expected, a wild ride. It's less focused on a linear plot and more on the absurdity of the gremlins causing as much mayhem as possible in a confined space. The Clamp Center itself is a perfect backdrop for the chaos, as it's a modern, high-tech building with all sorts of gadgets and features, providing endless opportunities for gremlins to interact with and break. The film plays with tropes and even breaks the fourth wall, making the audience aware of the ridiculousness of what they're watching and inviting them to enjoy the ride. In terms of acting and performance, Gremlins 2 delivers another solid turn from Zach Galligan as Billy Peltzer, though this time he's more of a straight man to the chaos around him. Phoebe Cates returns as Kate, and her character is a bit more playful and lighthearted compared to the first film, though she still gets to deliver one of the most memorable lines in cinema when the gremlins take over the building. The real stars, however, are the special effects, with practical effects and puppetry once again creating the gremlins in all their weird and wonderful forms. The animatronics are impressive, and the film's willingness to lean into outrageous designs adds to the overall fun. Gremlins 2 comes across to the audience as a highly energetic, over-the-top experience. It's a film that doesn't take itself too seriously, which is part of its charm. The film knows it's ridiculous and embraces that quality fully, turning the gremlin chaos into pure entertainment. For those who enjoyed the first Gremlins but wanted something even more absurd, this sequel is a nonstop thrill ride filled with laughs, bizarre creature designs, and moments of pure anarchy. Ultimately, Gremlins 2, the new batch, is a hilariously chaotic sequel that takes everything that worked in the first film and amplifies it to absurd levels. It's more of a comedy than a horror film, but it's still filled with the same kind of mischievous, irreverent humor that made the first Gremlins so iconic. It's a film that knows exactly what it is, a campy, crazy roller coaster of gremlins, And it's a blast from start to finish.